Right, so this video is about generators in Python, and I'm just going to make the code a little bit bigger. So I think it's Control Plus, just so we can see that. And we just start off with this pattern here, which is we'll create a generator. So my generator equals, and then we'll do I for I in range, so 20 if I equals 0. And basically this pattern here, I for I in range 10. Right. Generally speaking, this pattern here, this is like a list comprehension, but the difference is that instead of using square brackets, we're using regular brackets. And what this actually does is, if I do a for loop now, so for I in range, and then let's just say we'll go up to 20, for example, we can then do print, not range 20, for I in my generator, which is a generator that we've just constructed. So this is the iterable now that we're going to iterate over. We can print I, and we'll see the output of what I actually gets down below when I hit F5 to run it. So if I do that, in fact, I'll just clear this quickly, clear down below, so that it's all nice and clear, and I'll then just hit F5 to run the code. I could run the code by pressing this button. You know what, I haven't done it for a long time, so I'm going to do that. And then we just see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and the reason why it's doing jumping up in pairs of 2 is we've got this little extra expression at the end, just for the sake of something a tiny bit nicer. But the point being that this is like, what is this generator thing? So let's just have a look, because we could do, you could say, well, we can do exactly the same pattern with a list comprehension here. So I'll call this, well, we will call it a list comp, and I'm referring to the square brackets. So we will create the square brackets, and when we run this, we'll print, we'll do something like print generators over this one. Oops, hit that by mistake. Did I do that? Okay. Right, so print generators over there, and just copy this one down just so that we've got a little line there. There we go. List comprehension. So there are two functions there, so we can differentiate between the two. So we're just going to run our piece of code, and we get the same thing for both of them. Like if we take a look over here, what do we have? Let me just try and do that again. For I for I in range, %2. Maybe I just ran out of space, I guess. F5, just try and run that again, see if it will come down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we get the 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for the generators over here, and then the list comprehension looks exactly identical. So we're going to say, like, what's the difference between the two, or why have we even shown this? And the reason for this is, or what is the key difference here? Like, what's the advantage of this? Well, if we do a import sys, and I've seen this on another video, which is why, what we can actually do is we can do print, and then here we do sys dot get get size of, and this thing here prints, well, let's have a look here. Well, it doesn't say it, but it will get us the size of the actual object. So let's just do my underscore generator, and over here I'll actually call it a list comprehension, list comp, there we go, and then for I in list comp. So we'll do that print, and then we'll do this print over here. Okay, and in fact what we'll do is call this list comp. We'll put them side by side just so that we can see them. So move that one down to the bottom of the block. Print compare sizes. And this is basically the key difference. When we run it, we'll get our code running again in the usual way. Oops, why are those numbers so big second time around? Oh yeah, sorry, that's the compare sizes. So I'll actually do the whole thing because I do want to show the whole code, or just show that they both all run. So let's just do an F5 now, and hopefully everything will fit on the screen. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah, there we go. So we've got our generators first, which is the 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 18, and then we've got this list comprehension over here. And what we see is we've got this compare sizes, and we see actually that the generator is larger than the list comprehension. So the list comprehension is more efficient to start with. I think this is the example, and I won't do a, I'll do a, I wonder if it'll work like this, but instead of doing 20 here, we will now do 2,000 or 20,000, 20,000 and 20, 1, 2, 3, just do it like that. And we won't do print I, we will just do a pass statement, I think, because we'll run out of things. So pass over here, and then pass over here, and then we'll do a print side. Let's have a look at that one and see what happens. And we see now that the, I might actually put this in here, the, just a little, so this one here is the generator, and this is the list comprehension. And again, we just run it and we can see it down. We'll see the results come down the bottom. But what we've seen here is, in our first instance, if I can go, the generator was larger, so it was more inefficient for like this for the small loop when we did the size of 20. But when we moved to 20,000, we see that the generator still maintains its small size, whereas a list comprehension gets very large. And I believe that's because the list comprehension has actually created all of the items and kind of like committed and stored them to memory, whereas the generator is just taking the next item every time that it's used, and so it's not retaining it in memory. I just wonder if we can do I percentage of 20 to change it by a factor of 10 and see what happens if that if there are less items created in the list. Yeah, and indeed there are less items created in the list. So it's literally to do with the number of items that are created in this actual list here compared to this thing here, which is always pretty much just the same size. So that's basically a generator versus a list comprehension. They look very similar, the only difference being the curly brackets versus the, not the curly brackets, the curved brackets or the parentheses versus the square brackets. So that's different. There's a for large size loops, there's a big cost saving in using the generator method over here. So that's it. That's our little Python recording on generators versus list comprehensions.